third-generation Indian entrepreneur. Before I go any further into biography, I just want to let you know the advantages of being a moderator. I was invited to be a attendee at his son's wedding sometime in the future, so moderating has its benefits here. Anyway, he's businessman by birth and nature, and he started importing waste paper, or recovered fiber, as we call it now, as long back as 1975. His family-owned business has a long history of imports and exports into and from India, and he's nurturing his passion for recyclables, zeal to make the world a better place by contributing his bit towards recycling. He has made them expand into 5 countries around the world. He has partnership offices in the United Kingdom, the United States, Germany, Dubai, and is now expanding into South Africa. Mauritius, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. His vision, foresight, and experience have come into the fore with his son, Barishkev, joined the business in 2009 and is now becoming a 4th-generation business. And a strong belief that relationships matter more and more in this electronic age, and his drive to constantly explore possibilities for new venture has made him the successful businessman that he is today. And they're headquartered in Mumbai, and he's supported by his son, backed by a well-trained and efficient staff, and having a world presence. Devang believes that recycling is the only way for a better future, considering the limited resources that we now have. Devang.
Thank you, Dan. Dan, I'm an ordinary person who has been blessed with extraordinary opportunities and experiences, and today is one of them. We buy and sell recovered paper worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, Swagatam or Namaste in India means welcome in India. The Indian paper industry is primarily in the private sector, although there are a few mills under government ownership. Recent capacity additions by players like Balarpur, West Coast and Tamil Nadu newsprint have resulted in continuous growth. Paper consumption is expected to touch 14-15 million tons by 2015-16. In Morbi, a small town near Mundra Port in the dynamic state of Gujarat, 22 paper mills had mushroomed in the last 4 years. However, the per capita consumption of paper stands at 8 kilos vis-a-vis 350 kilos in North America. This is a huge gap and therefore makes me very optimistic about the paper requirements in India. If you see that, I think I should have kept euros out there. The opportunities not in dollars, should be in euros. Indian manufacturers are making huge capital investments to replace old machinery and are adopting latest technology to improve product efficiency. This year, I'm currently witnessing very many paper mills increasing their or doubling their capacity. International paper and Mill Westraco have made their entry already into India. So why don't you? Indians are entrepreneurs to say the least. Whether it is a cobbler sitting on the roadside or Reliance Industry, a Fortune 500 company. Believe you me, India is on the move. We are already 1.2 billion people with a land mass of 1/3 less than that of USA. And today's per capita consumption of 8 kilos vis-a-vis 350 kilos, I can only see the consumption going up and up and up. While India represents 15% of the world's population, its total consumption of paper is only 2%. Again, the bigger the opportunity, the bigger the gap, the bigger the opportunity, and more ways to make dollars and euros. It's said, don't invest in the short term and expect to come out with a fortune. Stay invested for the long term and you will definitely find a fortune in India. The paper industry in India, especially printing, should enjoy promising growth. It's interesting to note that the percentage of internet or Indian population with internet household, it stands at only 10% when compared to 78% and 83% in the UK and US, respectively. You will be surprised. Newsprint in India, all over the West is going down. In India, it's going up and up. Newsprint circulation is going up at the rate of 9% per annum, and India's newsprint consumption is expected to increase to 3 million tons, up from 2 million tons by 2015-16. Of the world's largest 100 newspapers, 20 are Indian, and it's growing at 9% per annum. Indian mills' annual recovered paper requirement is projected to jump from 8 million tons to about 16 million tons by 2025, while import requirements could leap from 4 million tons to 10 million tons. India is rated as the fastest growing paper market on the back of a comparatively healthy GDP growth, and the annual rate of growth is expected to be 8% over the next 7 to 10 years. This increased consumption of paper will also result in additional generation of paper for recycling, and that is the reason I gave the above data. Something more interesting is coming up, and that is this. India needs professionally managed waste management services. What India needs now and in the near future is professionally, properly, efficiently managed waste management services. We need experience, we need investment, we need machines, management, you name it, India will need it. Smart, savvy people like the one I see plenty in front of me should definitely have a look at the services that can be offered in this field. I can see Neil of Recycling UK, a friend of mine, who has a futuristic vision. I see a lot of other friends too. Alessandro. If there is an increase in paper consumption by 1 kilo per capita, we can expect an increase in demand by 1 million tons. So my friends, what are you waiting for? Jump on the bandwagon, join hands with us, Victory and Paperworks, and be a part of this magical journey that is India. Partnering with the best will give you a tremendous leeway. Come to Victory, a 100-year-old business family background company, a fourth-generation company. Now that my son Rishi, a 26-year-old man, I can't say boy anymore, I would say man, has joined our business. India is the cradle of the human race, the birthplace of human speech, and also of the zero. India is the mother of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great-grandmother of tradition. The most valuable and artistic treasures in the history are of Indian origin. So why waste time? Come to India, come to where the flavor is. Headquartered in Bombay with mobile agents in the east, south and north, with a staff of 16 people and experience of 35 years in waste paper training, we are the right partners for you. From setting up an office to partnering with us for training. We have just last week concluded PaperX, the biggest paper expo in the world. And I see now sea change in the paper mills operating in India. They are now wanting to export their paper, the finished paper, which was not the case a couple of years ago. India is on the move, and I invite you to be part of the movement. Thank you, Namaste.
For that now, we're going to open the floor for questions. I have a couple, but I'd love to always defer to the audience. So if anyone has a question right off the bat, just raise your hand. We have a couple people with microphones. First of all, I'll ask you, you mentioned about the newsprint in India. Newsprint, and anyone else can comment also, is growing. Are there a lot of new newsprint, the construction of a lot of newsprint mills then coming online in India, or are they just, importing more newsprint rolls, or is it like expanding existing operations?
Rahul Bhai will know more about this than I do. But India, there is expected to be a lot of newsprint production up in the next year. And Agarwal, a big paper mill, is coming up with big production. right? You'll be surprised, but the Times of India has the biggest and the best machines possible in the world probably right now. And what is more surprising is that everywhere in the West newsprint has declined except in India. Because, well, you'll be surprised if you stay in an Indian hotel. About 2 years ago, we used to get one newspaper outside the room in the morning. Now we get 4 newspapers. And the collection of used newspaper, is almost 98% in India. So newsprint is promising. I mean, there's a cycle, of course, but it's quite promising.
Well, just, I guess if each of you could take a few minutes here, just talk about, so, I guess the grades, maybe break them out by the different grades here. What grades do you feel that you are involved in show the greatest promise, and what grades that maybe share the biggest concern as a trader of that commodity?
These paper imports are looking up in India for duplex mills. I can tell you a very interesting story. Morbi is where most of the duplex mills are located in the last 4 years. Morbi is a town next to Mundra, as I was saying. They manufacture tiles. From tiles were packed in boxes. And from tiles manufacturing they shifted. They started making mills who produce paper to make boxes. Now there's one more scene. They started making craft. Why did they start making craft? Because they started making absorbent craft paper for the decorative paper industry. So that's how India progresses. But mixed paper is looking up on the Mundra side and for the duplex paper mills.
Richard from Civic Logistics. A question for Devang. Since we have 2 generations here, son is front row, I'm curious about the increase of demand of newsprint, as you say. Is the generation of your son reading newspapers, or are they going to phones and tablets?
No, again.
What is the reason for the increase in newsprint in India?
Yeah, I'll check. Much against the desires, publishers are simply unable to increase the cover price. If you take the cover price of a newsprint sold in Europe or in UK, vis-a-vis the cover price of a newsprint in India, India is still 1 rupee and 2 rupees. So, the Indian newsprint manufacturer, the newspapers have realized that if they want to remain a low-cost product, they have to match their costs by advertising revenue only. Interestingly, it has been observed that the cover price of newspapers have remained constant over the last 2 decades in India. Although inflation rate has been at 7-8% approximately. During this period, India has witnessed a growth of 150% in the consumption levels of newsprint by newspapers. We are still a developing economy. And I believe at least 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, newsprint will grow. Now these, like this son of mine, or maybe I'm expected to be a grandfather soon, whenever. But whenever I am, but maybe they'll take to tablets. They'll take to tablets. I read an article yesterday where the children, before he could talk, he could run the tablet or unlock the father's phone. But India will still take time to reach there.
The role of the broker has changed. It used to be in the day what a broker has done. It's changed. Can you explain, if you believe this concept, and what role does the broker, and I guess in this case the trader and or expert, what role are they having to adopt now to change with the times?
As Kees said, this is challenging indeed. But I believe challenging is maybe there are more opportunities that lie ahead also. In the sense that we as paper brokers, we need to take care of our mills, of our suppliers, of the logistics, of the shipping companies, of the ground rent, of the detention, of the demurrage. And now we are going one step further also in the sense that we would like for them to export also. So it's not only supply of waste paper to them, it's picking up the finished paper and exporting. So I see a huge opportunity. I'm an optimist by the way, but there it is.
Before we close up, I want to give everyone a panel a round of applause. I think they did a real nice job at the end.